Hey, what's up? It's me, Johnny. So we're gonna build again. We're gonna do some custom crawler shocks. We got some parts in from a new company we found. I shouldn't say new to us, I should say. What it takes: Traxxas big bores, 2660s, 2662s, those couple shocks. There's a completer pack with 2 front, 2 rear, same ones I'm using right now on my truck. Right here, a 4-wheel steer truck. I'm gonna put these on it. We're gonna build them. I'm gonna put 60 weight in the front, 40 weight in the back for shock oil. I have low C mini T springs. Part number is, for the shocks I'm gonna be building, part number is LOSB 1117. I needed some Traxxas rod ends for it, part number 1942. And pivot balls, because this is a Capra based. I need a Capra with pivot balls. Part number is AXI 234004. And obviously I have the springs out. I'm going to use the soft, which is the pink, medium, which is the reds. Currently I have the offset caps, so it just moves the rod end off to the side. Pretty much just allows it to fit in more places on these crawlers. So there's that. I also have the regular caps. I didn't get those built yet. And then I have the mini T spring pieces, or the lower shock caps for the mini T springs, because they're a little narrower. And obviously I have the rest of the rod ends with the Capra offset pivot ball in. And yeah, so we're gonna get building here. All right, so what I'm gonna do now, I'm gonna start trying to prep these shocks up. So I'm gonna take some shock oil. I already have the shafts removed, which is pretty much just to check, make sure everything was together on them. I'm gonna put the little bump stop on the middle, or inside I should say. Open my shock oil, pour a little down in just to get it in that O-ring whenever we start doing that. So there's one. All I'm doing, just setting the shocks in right now, or the shocks up. So the rears, I'm gonna use the bigger bump stop inside of them, just to try to help this piston stay alive. Just a couple little drips, that's all it needs. Doesn't matter which way you put it, as long as it's in there. Just a little bit. Don't lose it like I just did. And then shocks are kind of assembled. We're gonna take a quick pause while I get a rag. Okay, so what we're gonna do is I'm gonna take my assembled shocks, install the lower shock caps with the rod ends on them. Pretty simple. I already have the lower cap in there. Just gonna set it in, take my shock pliers, line it up the best I can to the right spot in the shock, and spin them on. One done. Now these are the front shocks I'm building, so I'm using the light spring. It's just what I'm gonna try. That's the nice thing with all these shocks is there's different spring rates available, so you can tune it to how you want that truck to work. And they're going on that truck, so I think I'm gonna like the lights in the front, mediums in the back. Try a different rod end. that's the front's done. I'm gonna start on the rears. Rears, I'm gonna try the same springs, or the same setup of springs. These are a longer shock, but the nice thing, these little collars, the lower spring collars, include O-rings to take up that slop. So I have one on right now. I'm gonna see if it needs more. If it does, I can take shock apart and reinstall them. But again, same thing, just clamping it down, threading it on, getting it to actually thread on is nice. Just using a regular driver to tighten these things up. And the front has a little too much slop for my liking, even with one shim. So I'm probably not gonna be able to slide that over. So I'm gonna take this and put it back and put another shim on. I already kind of figured I need at least one. Don't instantly let go, because it does that. It tries to get away from you. So we're gonna try 2. If 2 doesn't work, I have enough for 3 with this, the way it comes in the kit. So, I like the way that fits. Spring is still, the cup is loose, it's not full tension on it still. So I'm gonna do the same to this one. I'm gonna grab one more preload spacer, pop it on, as long as I don't lose it, and go from there. Again, same thing. I already pre-threaded these rod ends once. They may take another time or 2 to actually get right. Hey, that should be it on those. Let me just check to make sure they're the same length. Those 2 are the same length. All I can do, if they aren't, is tighten in the rod end a little bit more, which I'm gonna tighten in this rod end a little too long for that shock setup. Come on, there we go. Still not quite short enough. All right, so that's the shocks built. Right, so I have them in my holder, just makes it easier on everybody. So the front 2 shocks are the 2 with the pink springs. I'm gonna put 60 weight Racer's Edge shock oil in them. And like I said before with the springs, I'm gonna try it. This is what I'm guessing. It might work, I might like it, I might not. That's the nice thing about these shocks. Everything's changeable. Bunch of different oils, different weights, from really thin like water to silly putty. Really wouldn't want that in shocks, but who knows? Works in diffs for the off-road cars. All right, so what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna fill it up to just about where the threads for the cap start. We're gonna let that sit for a second. Go to the next shock. So that's that on that with that shock oil. Wipe that off to keep from making a mess. And I'm gonna put 40 weight ones with the brown springs in, or 40 weight in the ones with the brown springs. So that'll go to the rear end of the truck. Be a little lighter weight, just because there's not much weight on the back of this truck. And again, same thing, just topping off that shock till it just meets where the threads start for the cap. It's just so that way you allow for the shock bladder, which I already have installed in those caps, to work effectively. And just, again, wiping it off. Try not to make a mess. What I'm gonna do now is take shocks out of the holder and just give them a cycle. And that will let air come out from under that shock piston to, you can hear it, it's working. So that sucked the oil down below where I wanted it. So I'm gonna take my oil again and top it off. I'll let this shock sit and let the bubbles come up. I start to go to the next shock. Yeah, they make goofy noises. I'm just gonna keep going down the row. So that would be, the front's done, kinda, right now. We're gonna let them sit for after I get these two done. Haven't made that yet. That took a lot of oil down. I have that big rubber spacer in it. And on to the last one. As long as you don't tip that over, you'll be fine. Not yet. Alright, that should be all the shocks filled with oil. Now we're gonna let them sit for a little bit, and we'll get so what I'm gonna do now, I have the bladders. I'm gonna install the bladders on the shocks. Pretty much press them down. I like to compress the, I'm gonna move this out of the way a little. Compress it a little bit of extra oil comes out, and then press it while it sucks the bladder in. And then take my rag and give it a quick wipe with whatever comes out. This one, I did pretty good. Nothing much really came out. So I'm gonna take my offset caps that we have here in stock. Come see me, I can help you with these. And this is all depending on rig weight, setup, stuff like that. So I'm gonna grab my shock pliers, put them in the, up here on the hole for the shock caps, and make sure that it is tight. And actually I need to remove that cap for right now, which is a little thing I did not expect to do. So, do this first before you start to take us. Alright, so now that the screw's out, now we can tighten this up all the way. And that looks tight. It's in a flat. So now I'm gonna put the screw back in, and reassemble it. Again, I'm just using a 2mm and one of my other tools to hold the pivot ball in place. Snugging it up, you are screwing into plastic. Take it easy. You don't need to just hammer it in, it's fine. Nice thing though, these are replaceable with the different rod ends. So if it does break, you don't have to buy another set of shock caps, because the stock shock caps that come with these are the metal ones. We do have options for those. It's a little cheaper of an option, but they work. So, first shock is done. I'm gonna go to the next shock. Same way. Push the bladder on, hold it, compress the shock. A little bit of oil comes out, and then let it go. It will suck the bladder down into it, wipe off the little tiny smidge of oil that came out, and spin on the shock cap. Make sure it goes on correctly, and I knocked off the bladder. One bad thing about bladder shocks, you can do that. So, tool, get this out, clean my mess up, and try again. Realistically, I should probably top it off a little because some got stuck. Do a little drip in. That was probably too much. That would probably make a big mess. Oh yeah. Again, just same thing, just wipe off the extra oil. You don't really need to make a mess. And cycles completely. It's good. Now I'm just going to reassemble it. Alright. Now I'm just gonna make sure this rod end is in line with the shock body. So that one's done. I'm just gonna check this one. A little turn just to make it right. Alright, that's it. So front shocks are done. I don't have any hitches, nice and smooth. Now I'm gonna work on the backs. So again, just keep the same thing, guys. Take your time with shocks. Don't get frustrated. Just squeeze, a little bit of oil comes out. You want that little bit of oil to come out just to make sure you got enough oil in there. And press that down, pull it down the rest of the way. Wipe it off. And these caps, I use the offset on the front to clear the front tires on this truck with the way it steers. The rear, I'm just going to use the straight caps. Alright, so that's the rear cap. The rear done. It's set. Get the other one done. I might have a little bit much on these rear shocks, but fine. Same thing, just lining them up and getting them tight. Then it's nice and free also. So that would be it on these shocks. I'm gonna install them on a truck and show you what they look like installed.
Hi folks, thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to Get a Hobby, and follow us on our social medias down below. Thanks.